I was driving home from work that Tuesday, thinking about the chicken parmesan Amanda promised to make for dinner. 7 years of marriage, and I still got excited about her cooking. My cousin Blake had been staying with us for 3 months now, helping out around the house while he looked for work. Things felt good, normal, stable. But something had shifted lately. I could not quite put my finger on it. The way Amanda smiled at her phone, the way conversation stopped when I entered a room. Today my afternoon meeting got canceled, so I left the office 2 hours early. As I pulled into the driveway, I noticed the bedroom light was on upstairs. My heart started beating faster, though I did not know why yet. Before I tell you what happened next, I want to know where you are watching this from. Drop your city or country in the comments below. And if you have ever felt betrayed by people you trusted most, hit that like button. Subscribe because you will want to hear how this story ends. Trust me, this gets intense. All right, let me take you back to that moment when I opened my front door and my whole world shattered. Amanda and I met in college back when I was studying software engineering and she was in marketing. We started dating junior year, got married 2 years after graduation. Life was not perfect, but it was ours. I worked long hours at a tech company. She had her 9 to 5 at a marketing firm downtown. We bought a house in the suburbs, talked about kids someday. We had been trying for a year, but nothing happened yet. I knew it stressed her out, but we told ourselves there was no rush. We were only 32. I considered myself a good husband. I paid all the bills, split the housework, listened when she talked about her day. Every Friday night we ordered takeout and watched movies together. On Sundays we went to the farmer's market. Our life had a rhythm to it, a comfortable, predictable rhythm. 3 months ago, Blake called me from Arizona. He had just lost his job at a construction company and his lease was up. He was my cousin, technically my Uncle Martin's son, but we grew up more like brothers. Our families spent every holiday together. When Blake asked if he could crash at our place for a few weeks while he figured things out, I said yes without hesitation. Amanda agreed. We had a spare bedroom and Blake was family. Blake arrived on a Saturday morning with 2 duffel bags and a grateful smile. He was 32, tall, athletic build from years of construction work. He had always been the charming one at family gatherings, the guy who made everyone laugh. Those first few weeks were actually fun. Blake cooked breakfast on weekends, helped me fix the leaking faucet in the bathroom, joined us for movie nights. Amanda seemed happier, more energetic. I figured having another person in the house just made things more lively. 2 weeks in, Blake landed a job at a local construction company. Great news. But he said the company had a weird pay schedule, and he would not see his first check for another month. Could he stay a bit longer? Of course, I said. He was family. He was getting back on his feet. No problem at all. But around week 8, I started noticing things. Small things that individually meant nothing, but together formed a pattern I did not want to see. Amanda started laughing at her phone constantly. She had always been on social media, but this was different. She would smile, type something, then glance at me like she was checking if I was watching. She started caring more about her appearance even on days she worked from home. Full makeup, nice clothes, perfume. I asked her about it once and she said she just wanted to feel good about herself. Fair enough. I noticed Amanda and Blake talking in the kitchen a lot. Quiet conversations that stopped the second I walked in. One time I came home early from a client meeting and I found them sitting close together on the couch, watching something on her laptop. They jumped apart when they heard my keys. Blake said they were looking at job listings for him. Amanda nodded quickly. Too quickly. I kept telling myself I was being paranoid. Blake was my cousin. Amanda was my wife. They were just getting along. That was a good thing, right? But the feeling in my gut would not go away. It followed me to work. It kept me awake at night. One night I woke up at 3 in the morning and reached for Amanda. Her side of the bed was empty. I got up, walked down the hall, and saw light coming from under the living room door. I heard voices, low, intimate. I stood outside that door for what felt like an hour, but was probably only 30 seconds. I heard Amanda say something about how this could not continue. Blake said something about me finding out eventually. My heart was hammering so hard I thought they might hear it through the door. I did not go in. I turned around and went back to bed. I lay there until the sun came up, staring at the ceiling, trying to convince myself I had misunderstood. But I knew. Deep down, I knew. The next morning I told my boss I would be working from home. But I did not work. I drove away from the house like normal, parked 2 blocks away, then walked back. At 10 in the morning, when I should have been in a conference room discussing quarterly projections, I quietly opened my front door with the spare key I kept in my wallet. I heard sounds from upstairs, movement. My feet felt like they weighed 1,000 pounds as I climbed those stairs. The bedroom door was half open. I pushed it wider. Amanda and Blake were in my bed. In the bed I shared with my wife for 7 years. The bed we picked out together at that furniture store on our first anniversary. The bed where we talked about our future, our dreams, our plans for children. Time stopped. Amanda screamed. Blake froze his face, going white. I did not say anything. I just stood there for 3 seconds, maybe 4, taking in every detail of the scene so I would never forget it. Then I turned around. I closed the door quietly. I walked down the stairs. I walked out of my house. I got in my car, and I drove. I drove for 3 hours with no destination. My phone started ringing almost immediately. 25 calls from Amanda, 12 from Blake. Text messages piling up so fast, my phone kept buzzing like it was having a seizure. I turned it off. I ended up at the lake where Amanda and I had our first date. We came here to watch the sunset, shared a bottle of cheap wine, talked until midnight. I sat on the same bench and watched the water until it got dark. Finally, I turned my phone back on. The messages from Amanda were desperate. "Trevor, please come home. I can explain. It is not what you think. Please give me a chance." I did not read the rest. I called her. My voice came out cold and flat, like it belonged to someone else. "Pack Blake's things. I want him gone by the time I get back." I hung up before she could respond. When I got home at 9 that night, Blake's truck was gone. His stuff was still scattered around the guest room, but he was not there. Amanda was sitting on the couch, her face red and swollen from crying. Her hands were shaking. "Trevor, please listen to me." I stood in the doorway. I did not sit down. I did not move closer. I just waited. She told me everything. How it started 6 weeks ago with late-night conversations. How Blake was going through a hard time, and she felt sorry for him. How I was working late so often, and she felt lonely. How they did not mean for it to happen. How it just happened. Like they tripped and fell into bed together. Again and again. For 3 weeks. "It was a mistake," she kept saying. "A horrible mistake. I love you, Trevor. Only you. Please, we can fix this. Therapy, counseling, whatever you want. Just please do not give up on us." I asked one question. My voice was still flat, still cold. In our bed where we sleep every night, she started crying harder. She could not answer. "Sleep in the guest room," I said. "I need time." 2 days later, my phone rang. "Mom." "Trevor, honey, is it true you kicked Blake out?" I felt like I had been punched. "Who told you that?" Blake had called my Uncle Martin. He told him that Amanda and I were having marriage problems, and I was taking it out on Blake by kicking him out. He made it sound like I was being unreasonable, like he was the victim. He did not mention sleeping with my wife. Uncle Martin called my dad. Dad called Mom. Now they were calling me. I told my mother the truth, every detail, the bedroom, the bed, everything. She was quiet for a long time. "Oh, Trevor. Oh, honey, that is terrible. Your father and I will talk to Blake. This is unacceptable." I felt relief for about 4 hours. Then Dad called back. His tone was completely different. "Son, Blake came clean. He is devastated. He made a terrible mistake. But so did Amanda. These things happen in marriages sometimes. You two need counseling." I could not believe what I was hearing. "Dad, he slept with my wife." "I know, and it is wrong, but Blake is family. Amanda is your wife. People make mistakes. Divorce is not the answer here. He slept with my wife, in my house, in my bed. I understand you are hurt." but you need to work through this. For the family." I hung up. The next day, Mom showed up at my door with a casserole. She sat me down at the kitchen table like I was 10 years old again. "Amanda called me," Mom said. "She is devastated, Trevor. She made a huge mistake, but she loves you. Do you really want to throw away 7 years over this?" She threw it away when she slept with Blake. Blake is suffering too. He lost his job, his whole life fell apart. He made a bad choice when he was vulnerable. I stared at my mother. "Are you defending him?" "I am not defending anyone. I am trying to keep this family together. Your grandmother heard about this. She is 90 years old, Trevor. This kind of stress is not good for her heart. If you divorce Amanda, family gatherings will never be the same. Uncle Martin is furious with you for kicking Blake out. Your cousins are starting to talk. If you divorce Amanda, you will be the one breaking this family apart." I am breaking the family. What about what they did? What they did was wrong, but how you respond defines who you are. Be the bigger person, Trevor. After Mom left, Amanda came into the living room. She had been staying at her mother's place, but came back to get more clothes. She told me that our friends knew everything now. Her best friend Jessica had called. Jessica said I should give Amanda a second chance. That all marriages go through rough patches, that counseling could save us. I felt like I was suffocating. Everyone had an opinion about what I should do. Everyone had advice. But nobody asked how I felt. Nobody asked what I needed. It was all about keeping the family together, about forgiveness, about second chances, about being the bigger person. That night I lay alone in our bedroom. Amanda was back at her mother's house. I stared at the ceiling and wondered if I was the problem. Was I overreacting? Was divorce too extreme? Was I being selfish? A week after I found them, Dad called. "We are having a family meeting on Sunday, 2 o'clock. Everyone needs to be there." Everyone. Your mother and I, Uncle Martin and Aunt Patricia, Blake, Amanda, and you. We need to work this out like adults. I did not want to go, but Dad practically begged, "Please, son, for me." Sunday came. I drove to my parents' house feeling like I was heading to my own execution. Everyone was already there when I arrived, sitting around the dining room table where we had shared countless holiday meals. Uncle Martin looked angry. Aunt Patricia looked uncomfortable. Blake looked at the floor. Amanda's eyes were red. Mom looked hopeful. Dad looked determined. "We are family," Dad started. "We need to work through this together." He asked Blake to speak first. Blake stood up, his voice shaking. "Trevor, I am so sorry. I was in a dark place. I made the worst mistake of my life. I never meant to hurt you. I'm moving out of state next week. I will never bother you again. But please, please do not divorce Amanda. She loves you. This is my fault, not hers." Everyone looked at me, waiting, like I was the one on trial. Amanda spoke next. "Trevor, I love you more than anything. I will do whatever it takes. Therapy, counseling, anything. Please do not give up on us, on our marriage, on our future." Uncle Martin cleared his throat. "Trevor, you are a good man. I raised Blake better than this, and he let everyone down. But people deserve second chances. That is what family does." Aunt Patricia nodded. "Divorce will hurt everyone. Think about Thanksgiving, Christmas, family birthdays. Do you want things to be awkward forever?" Mom reached across the table toward me. "Your grandmother's health is failing, sweetheart. This stress is making it worse. She wants to see this family united before she passes." I looked around the table. Everyone was staring at me. Everyone had the same expression. Like I was the villain in this story, like I was the one causing all the pain. I stood up slowly. My chair scraped against the floor. "Let me get this straight," I said. My voice was calm, too calm. "Blake slept with my wife, in my house, for weeks. Amanda betrayed 7 years of marriage with my cousin. And now you are all telling me that if I do not forgive them, I am the one destroying the family." "Trevor, calm down," Dad said. "We are not saying that. That is exactly what you are saying. None of you asked how I feel. None of you asked what I need. All I hear is think about the family. Give them a chance. Be the bigger person. What about me? What about my pain? What about my marriage that they destroyed?" Mom started crying. "We know you are hurting, honey, but holding on to anger will only hurt you more." I laughed. It came out bitter. "So I should just swallow this, pretend it never happened, sit next to Blake at Thanksgiving, and pass him the mashed potatoes." Uncle Martin's face turned red. "You are being unreasonable, Trevor." I turned to him. "Uncle Martin, if Aunt Patricia cheated on you with my father, would you just forgive and forget?" He did not answer. I thought so. I looked at Amanda. "You want a second chance? You had 7 years to be faithful. You chose Blake for 3 weeks instead." I looked at Blake. "And you. You talked about brotherhood, about family loyalty. Then you stabbed me in the back the first chance you got." I stepped back from the table. "I came here because Dad asked me to. I listened to everyone. Now let me be clear. I am filing for divorce. Blake, stay away from me. Amanda, my lawyer, will contact you." "Trevor, please," Mom was sobbing. "Think about what you are doing." "I am thinking, Mom. For the first time in 2 weeks, I am thinking clearly. I am not the one who destroyed this family. They did. And if you all cannot see that, then maybe I do not need this family as much as I thought I did." I walked out. They called after me. I kept walking. I got in my car and drove away. And for the first time since I walked into that bedroom, I felt like I could breathe. The next morning, I called a divorce lawyer. Her name was Catherine Sullivan, 50 years old, with sharp eyes and a no-nonsense attitude. She listened to my story without interrupting. "You have clear grounds for fault divorce due to adultery," she said. "The house is in your name, only correct. I bought it before we got married." "Good. No children." "No." "That simplifies things considerably. This will take approximately 6 months. Are you certain this is what you want?" "I have never been more certain of anything in my life." Catherine nodded. "Then, let us begin." I transferred all the money from our joint account into my personal account. Catherine said it was legal given the circumstances. I changed the locks on the house. When Amanda came by that afternoon, she could not get in. I left her suitcases on the front porch along with the divorce papers. My phone exploded. Amanda called 30 times. I did not answer. She got my mom to call. "Trevor, honey, please, just talk to her. You are making a terrible mistake." "Mom, I love you, but this is my decision. Please respect it." Dad called next. He was angry now. "You are being stubborn and stupid. You are going to regret this for the rest of your life." "Maybe I will, Dad, but it is my mistake to make." I blocked Blake's number. I blocked Amanda's number. I deleted every photo of us from social media. I changed my relationship status from married to single. Family members started commenting immediately. Some supported me. Most said I was overreacting, that I was throwing away a good marriage over one mistake. I deleted my Facebook account. I threw myself into work. I stayed at the office until 8 or 9 every night. I started going to the gym at 6 in the morning, lifting weights until my arms shook and my mind went quiet. I moved into the guest bedroom. I could not sleep in our old room anymore. Just walking past it made my stomach turn. The divorce moved forward. Amanda tried to contest it at first, begging for mediation. Catherine shut that down fast. The evidence was clear. The adultery was admitted. After 2 months, Amanda signed the papers. My family stopped calling as much. Uncle Martin and Aunt Patricia did not speak to me at all. A few cousins reached out to say they understood, but most stayed silent. I did not care. I was done trying to make everyone else comfortable with my pain. I started therapy. Dr. Chen, a calm woman in her 40s, helped me understand something important. Setting boundaries is not selfish. Forgiveness does not mean accepting disrespect. You can let go of anger without reconciling with people who hurt you. "You do not owe anyone your pain," she told me, "not even family." 3 months after I filed, the divorce was final. I sat in the courthouse and signed my name. Amanda was not there. Her lawyer handled everything. When I walked out into the sunlight, I felt empty, but also lighter, like I had been carrying something heavy for so long that I forgot what it felt like to stand up straight. I reconnected with old friends from college. Marcus, my old roommate, invited me to go hiking. I had not been hiking in years. Amanda never liked it. We drove 3 hours to a state park and spent the day climbing a mountain. At the summit, looking down at the valley below, I felt something I had not felt in months. Freedom. I started learning guitar. I had always wanted to, but Amanda said we did not have room for an instrument. Now I had a whole house to myself. I could put a guitar anywhere I wanted. I took a solo trip to Colorado. I had wanted to go for years. But Amanda did not like mountain towns. She preferred beach vacations. I spent a week hiking, reading, and sitting by a fire at night. I did not talk to anyone unless I wanted to. It was perfect. Slowly, carefully, I built a new life. A life based on what I wanted, not what everyone else needed from me. 6 months after the divorce was finalized, I heard through the family grapevine that Amanda and Blake had broken up. Apparently, once their relationship was not forbidden anymore, it lost its appeal. Blake moved to Oregon. Amanda stayed in town. She tried to reach out a few times, emails saying she made a terrible mistake, that we were soulmates, that she knew now what she lost. I did not respond. There was nothing left to say. My relationship with my parents slowly improved. Mom called one day, her voice small. "I am sorry, Trevor. I should have supported you from the beginning. I was so worried about keeping everyone happy that I forgot to care about your happiness. Can you forgive me?" "I already have, Mom." Dad took longer. He did not apologize with words, but he started inviting me to watch football games again, just the two of us. It was his way of saying sorry. I accepted it. I still went to some family gatherings, birthdays, the occasional holiday. But I left when I wanted to. If I felt uncomfortable, I walked out. Nobody questioned it anymore. Uncle Martin and Aunt Patricia avoided me. That was fine. I did not need their approval. A year after my divorce, I was sitting in my new apartment. I had sold the house 6 months earlier. Too many memories. The apartment was smaller, but it had floor-to-ceiling windows with a view of downtown. My guitar sat in the corner. Photos from my Colorado trip hung on the wall. Everything in this space was mine, chosen by me, for me. I thought about everything that happened, the betrayal, the family pressure, the divorce, the loneliness, the slow rebuild. I learned something crucial through all of it. Family is not always right. Love does not mean sacrificing your self-respect. Setting boundaries is an act of self-love, not selfishness. Sometimes people will call you selfish when you stop doing what they want. But that is not selfishness. That is dignity. I do not hate Amanda anymore. I do not hate Blake. Hate takes energy, and I would rather spend that energy on building something new. I do not think about them often. When I do, I feel nothing. Not anger, not sadness. Just a distant memory of a life I used to live. I did not let them destroy me. That is my victory, not revenge. Not bitterness, just the simple act of choosing myself when everyone else told me not to. Some people think I am too harsh, that I should have fought harder for my marriage, that I gave up too easily. Those people have never been where I was. They have never felt the particular pain of being betrayed by someone you trusted completely, then being told by everyone you love that your pain matters less than their comfort. I know what I did was right, not because it was easy, but because it was necessary. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever had to choose between your own peace and keeping others happy? Have you ever been told you were destroying the family when you were just protecting yourself? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if this story resonated with you. Subscribe because I share more stories about standing up for yourself, even when it is hard. Share this with someone who needs to hear that choosing yourself is not selfish. It is survival. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it helps someone out there who is struggling with a similar situation. Remember, you deserve respect, you deserve loyalty, and you deserve to walk away from anyone who cannot give you those things, even if they are family. Take care of yourself. You are worth it.